I'm going to show you how to do the first assignment for the V5 test bed, which is called V5 test bed 1. It is this assignment right here. So if you click on the assignment in Canvas, you'll find the directions down here. Write a program that does all the following tasks in order. Turn motor 1 on clockwise at half speed for 5 seconds and then stop. Turn motor 2 on counterclockwise at half speed for 2.5 seconds, then stop. Turn both motors on at the same time, full power, spinning clockwise for 7.25 seconds, then stop. All right, so we've got to make our program do all of that. So the first thing you're going to need to do is open up the V5, the VexCode V5 program. Double click that. I've already got it open. So it's right here. Okay, so the first step was turn motor 1 on clockwise at half speed for 5 seconds and then stop. Well, right now our computer doesn't know where it has motors plugged in. It doesn't know we have any motors plugged in. We have to tell it that it has motors plugged in. So before you do that, you want to make sure that this brain icon is green. If it's white or orange or red, let Mr. Reese know so that he can fix it. Okay, you want to click on this icon right here and add a device. And we want to add a motor. Now, if you've followed directions correctly in the previous video, you should have one motor plugged into port 1 and one motor plugged into port 2. So I'm going to click on port 1. I'm going to click done. I'm going to add another device, motor, port 2, done. All right, now to get rid of this devices menu, you click this little triangle right here, or arrow, whatever you want to call it, and that will be gone. Now I've got directions for my motors, so I can control them. We don't need to worry about putting in the sensors right now because those will be later assignments. Right now we just put in the motors. All right, so on here, turn motor 1 on clockwise at half speed for 5 seconds and then stop. So I'm going to spin motor 1 right here. And what did it say? Half speed. So I want to set motor 1 velocity. Velocity is the same as speed, to 50%. And then there's a few different ways you could do this. You could do set motor 1 timeout, or what I usually use is here in control and use the wait. And it says half speed for 5 seconds. So I want to make that 5 seconds. And then oh, whoops, it's motion. There we go. All right. So that should make my motor run for 5 seconds, and then this is a stop right here. So you want to make sure you put that part in there. If you don't, sometimes it will stop and sometimes it will continue going. So you want to always make sure you put that stop in there. Make sure that the motor stops when you want it. So if I read through my program, should start spinning motor 1 forward at 50% speed for 5 seconds and then stop. That's exactly what step 1 said. Okay, so now to download the program to the brain, I'm going to click this icon right here that says download. It asks me, do I want to save my project? I would suggest saving it because if you don't get it done today, or if you want to look at it later on, like there's an assignment later on and you're like, oh, how did I do that the last time when I had that assignment? You can go back and open this up and look there. So I would click the OK. And now we need to save it. Now it's important that we save it to the correct place. So what you're going to do is scroll this little bar down until you find this PC. All right, now there's a chance that it'll be closed like this. If it's closed and it has the triangle pointing to the right, then you click the little triangle and it will open up all these options underneath this PC. You'll want to find this one. Now yours is going to be your student ID number instead of your name. For staff members, it shows a name. For students, it shows an ID number. But the important thing here is you want to have that H colon. This is called your H drive. Now the reason this is important is your H drive can be accessed from any computer in the district. So if something goes wrong with your computer tomorrow, your desktop computer, you can still access this from a different desktop. If you just save it anywhere, number one, I'm not going to know where it's saved, so I may not be able to find it to help you open it. And number two, if something goes wrong with your computer, and it seems like every semester I've taught this class, at least one computer has stopped working at some point, you can still access it from a different computer. All right, so I'm going to make sure it's in H drive. And I want to make a folder for my programs. So in order to do that, oh, there it is, new folder. I couldn't find it. You want to click new folder. Okay, it's going to open this up and ask you to name it. So I'm going to call it robotics programs and push enter. And then either double click that or click the word open. And now I'm going to be saving it inside my folder called robotics programs. All right, now I want to give this a name instead of just VexCode project. I'm going to give it an actual name so I know what it is. So it's called testbed1. And then I'm going to click save. And now it's going to download it to my brain that is connected to my test bed. Try this again. All right. Well, I don't know what that error code was that I got beforehand, but I just clicked download again and it worked. So my brain, I know I can't show this to you on the screen, but my brain the screen has changed. It says testbed1 at the top, and there's a little triangle that says run, which will run my program. And there's some other controls as well, but that triangle looks like the play symbol on like a DVD player or whatever, a video controller, whatever. If you're watching a video, I mean, on your phone, like the little control pad. All right, so I'm going to click the triangle to run my program. I don't know if you could hear it, but the motor ran at 50% speed, and it had a little timer at the top, and I checked, and at 5 seconds, the motor turned off. So it did exactly what I wanted. So then on my motor, I can just click the stop button, and that will stop the program. And now I can add in the rest of the steps. So I'm not going to show you how to do everything else on here. The other two steps, you're just going to have to figure that out based on what we've already done. So step 2 is going to be motor 2 counterclockwise. So that's going to be a different direction, still half speed, 2.5 seconds. So I would use this, I would do spin motor, but I'm going to change it to motor 2 this time. If I want it to go the opposite direction, I'm going to choose reverse. Going to need to set velocity, put in my weight, put in a stop, and that will accomplish step 2. In order to do step 3, turn both motors on at the same time, full power and spinning clockwise for 7.25 seconds, and then stop. Okay, now to turn both motors on at the same time, I'm going to just show you that part. All right, so on your project, don't delete your code. But I don't want to give you the entire answer to number 1. I'm just going to show you this part. So if I want to move both motors at the same time, I'm going to have a spin motor 1 forward, and I'm going to have a second one and choose motor 2. And then I would still use the set velocity. I would still use a what am I trying to think of? The wait command, and then the stop motor. And then for the stop, I would have to have 2 of them, one to stop motor 1 and one to stop motor 2. Now I'm just going to download this by itself to my brain. Whoops, I clicked run, not download. Always pay attention to what you're actually clicking. All right, so I clicked download this time, and now I can click the triangle, and both motors are running, and it won't stop until I stop the program because I didn't tell it how long to run. It will just run forever. So now I'm going to stop the program, and that worked. So again, you're going to have all these 3 steps in one program. When you're done, simply raise your hand, let Mr. Reese know. I will come over and check you off for credits as long as you have accomplished all 3 of these steps.